Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for another very special edition of WOWSA Live. And we're here with Mariel. She did a very special swim. She pioneered a swim. Not only did she swim it, she organized it, she planned it, she envisioned it, she dreamed it. And finally, she achieved it last week. So welcome, Mariel.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much for having me here. I'm
Yeah.
very happy.
And so after you did the Ocean 7,
Mhm.
then most likely you were going to retire, but you didn't. You wanted to do more.
No, let me tell you, when I finished Ocean 7, I decided that I wanted to keep on swimming. I didn't know at that moment what was I going to do, but I planned or I started thinking in maybe doing swims in Mexico. So we have beautiful places in Mexico, the Caribbean, the Pacific Ocean. So I started planning on different swims I could do in Mexico. And this way, like opening new routes or new swimming routes for Mexican swimmers and for international swimmers. So that's why last year in October 2019, I did the aquarium swim.
Yes.
And this is a very nice swim that is like 32 kilometers that you start in San Jose del Cabo and you swim to Cabo
Oh,
San Lucas,
wow.
just at the tip of the Baja Peninsula.
Yes.
So that was like the first Mexican new swim. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I enjoy it very much, but I didn't do the whole planning. Okay. I worked with Diego, and Diego lives in Los Cabos. So he planned most of the swim and the process, the
Okay.
authorization with the authorities. So when I got there, like I was there for before the swim, like a month before, and I swam certain stages of the swim, like
Okay.
for training.
Yeah.
So the day I did the swim, I mean, everything was like, everything is ready for you to swim.
Yeah.
And I did it and I enjoyed very much. And I think that Ned Dennison did
Yeah.
the swim, during
Yes.
March or April this year, no, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So after that, I said, okay, what's next? What's next is that the only thing I'm certain of is that I want to keep swimming. So I was planning on doing the Rio de la Plata swim
Okay. Okay.
in March this year. I even traveled to Argentina.
Oh.
I arrived to Buenos Aires on March 12th. And the day before the swim, the borders closed and
Oh.
this emergency started
Oh.
in Latin America. So I was like, what is this? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
I mean, we knew about the coronavirus because
Yeah.
we heard of it from people from Europe, from
Yeah.
Asia, but it wasn't yet in America. I don't
Yeah.
know if that happened
Yeah.
the same in the United States.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it was far away.
Yes.
And I was in Buenos Aires, and in Buenos Aires, more or less the same, no?
Yeah.
They didn't have any sick persons yet.
Yeah.
So I was hoping I could do the swim.
Yeah.
So the day before I was gonna swim, the whole thing closed up and it was canceled, and you have to go back to Mexico and see you later. Bye bye. No good.
Wow.
So I came back to Mexico and I
Oh,
was
wait,
ready.
wait. So on that, that's 40, is that 40, 42 kilometers? What's the
For
distance?
less. Yes, yes,
So
that's
you
for.
had trained very hard for that swim because that's not an easy swim.
No, I
Yeah.
know, and also, I mean, I was nervous because of the color of the water,
Yeah.
because of the river. It's not the same than swimming in the ocean. When you're swimming in the ocean, I
Yeah.
don't know, it's the salty water
Yeah.
that helps you a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was training for this swim for the Rio de la Plata in a place called Las Estacas near
Okay.
Mexico
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
So it's a river. Maybe you
Yeah.
you you talked about it. So I was back in Mexico City,
Okay.
March 18.
So you got out okay, and
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I was on the last plane that flew from Buenos Aires to Santiago, the
Wow.
last, and then the last plane that flew from Santiago to Mexico City.
Wow.
So when I got to Mexico City, I was like, what's happening? What is it? No? Mexico City at that moment was like in a normal, regular situation. Nobody was like so aware of what was happening.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks after, everything started to close. And one of the things, or one of the places that started to close were the swimming pools. And I was like, no, 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 this can't be possible. No, where am I going to swim? I live in a building that has a swimming pool. And I was like very happy because I said, well, at least I have a small pool in my building. And it also closed. And I was like,
Oh,
what am I going to do? I mean, and
you're a
I don't,
mermaid.
maybe, yes, so I needed to swim. But let me ask you something, or maybe let me share this with you. When everything started, I thought this was going to be like a 2-3 weeks, no period of time, maybe a month. But I thought that maybe around April, May, everything was going to be okay and in a normal or regular situation. So I started being patient and I said, okay, I'm going to rest for a few weeks, no, or maybe 2 weeks, and I'm going to walk and I'm going to do other kinds of exercise that I don't enjoy very much, but I'm going to try because this is going to, it will last like 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a month. And then I was impressed because everything kept closed. And now I mean, you could feel the pandemia all around, no?
Yeah.
So this continued and continued. And around July, I traveled to Acapulco.
Okay.
And that was great for me because I could train in Acapulco. Okay. I could swim in the ocean. The beaches were closed, but well, you could swim uh, for very early in the morning.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you couldn't stay and spend the day, having a great day on the beach, but you at least could swim. And then, well, that was perfect for me. So at that moment, I even thought that I was gonna try a double Catalina.
Okay.
I was, my mind was on Catalina, and then Dan Simonelli called me and he said, forget it because everything is gonna be canceled. I mean, this was like around June, at the end of June, first days of July. So I was like, no, I mean, now what? What am I going to swim? No? So when he told me that Catalina was canceling and that maybe what I thought was, okay, this is going to be a special year, no swimming. But then I said, okay, I don't have to travel to another country to have a swim. Why don't I do a swim in Mexico? So one day I woke up with this in mind, the Banderas Bay swim.
Okay.
And I said, that's it. So what is it about the Banderas Bay? At that moment, it was like the first July was starting. So I didn't know anyone who lived in Puerto Vallarta who could help me the way Diego did last year for the aquarium swim. So the what I started doing was like visualizing the swim and trying to find out via Google from one point to another point I could swim. And then I learned many things, and one of the things that impressed me a lot was that this was a huge bay. No, I never thought it was so big, and it's the largest, maybe the second largest bay in America, only after the Hudson Bay in Alaska. I thought San Francisco Bay was the largest, but no, it's different. So I said, okay, maybe I can swim from this point to another point. And I started like planning everything.
Okay.
I contacted a hotel and I asked them if they were open. They said yes, and you're welcome, and everyone is welcome. So I said, this is something also very special. This is like even though we are living in a new area, in a new era, I could
Yeah.
say it this way, we need to keep going. I mean, at least for us that we live in Mexico, we can have these kind of swims.
Yeah.
And that was my plan since last year, because that's what I wanted to do, right? So I said, okay, this is going to be a second new swimming route in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I did a reservation with the hotel, and the hotel was more than happy. And they were asking me, are you coming in a group? And I said, yes. And how many rooms do you need? Like, 20, 25? I said, no, just 2. So it's a small group. Yes, it's a small group. So I traveled to Banderas Bay, and I stayed a few days in Puerto Vallarta and a few days in Punta de Mita. So it's so large that it has like two or three different towns.
Okay.
The one that most people know is Puerto Vallarta. And now Punta de Mita is like, growing, and it has beautiful hotels, like small boutique hotels, which is very, very beautiful place. So I spent a few days in Puerto Vallarta and a few days in Punta de Mita, and I trained the 4 days that I was there, trying, to swim 4 hours one day, and then in the afternoon another hour, and that time I noticed that it was going to be a large swim, and also the logistic was going to be complicated,
Okay.
because you need to board the boat in Puerto Vallarta, no, in Puerto Vallarta Marine, and from there to the starting point, it's almost 2 hours, right?
Oh.
1 hour and a half. And then it's 34, 35 kilometers from Punta de Mita to the other cape, which is Chimo. At first, I thought I was going to swim from Punta de Mita to Cabo Corrientes, but they don't consider it like the point of the bay from the cape to cape. People in Puerto Vallarta consider Punta de Mita Chimo.
Okay.
They don't like to go that far, Cabo Corrientes.
Okay.
And the boat I used it's not like, I mean, I don't know how to say this in English. It's like a rowing boat almost.
Oh, really?
Not that much. Well, not that much. It's a panga. It's a lancha. It's
Okay.
not, it's not an escort boat. So since that first time I visited Vallarta, I mean, they told me, people from the place told me that they were not looking forward to going all the way to Cabo Corrientes. So if I wanted to go there, I needed to bring my own boat. If not, I could swim from Punta de Mita to Chimo, which is 34 kilometers, 35 kilometers. So I said, okay, it's far enough. Okay, I'll do it this way.
Okay.
So it was very interesting, because I could, on that time, I visited both capes. I swam in between. I started, looking for the tides and the currents. And then I realized that if I wanted to do the swim this time of the year, I had to swim during the night, because it's very hot. The water is almost 30 centigrades.
Okay.
During the day, the sun is so hot, and I was going to be like in the water for maybe 10 hours, 12 hours. So it was complicated. So I asked them if it was possible for me to swim during the night. And they were like, no, 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 no. You are crazy. I mean, you are crazy enough because you want to swim from this point to the other one. First time they were escorting a swimmer. And now you tell us that you want to swim at night? That's impossible. And I said, well, the reason is, and I explained them the whole thing. And then they said, and then I said, okay, if not, maybe I could swim in December or January, which will be more comfortable. The water will be colder and the sun won't be that hot. And they say, no, 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 because the whales are coming. So if you want to swim, you have to swim 23 and 24 of October, because after that, the whales are coming. And I was like, it's not like there is a door and then I'm going to swim and then they open the door and now the whales can come. And they said, no, 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 no. If you want to swim this year, you have to swim this weekend. So if you want to swim at night, you're crazy enough to swim at night. Okay. If not, you have to wait until the end of March.
Oh.
So the whales leave. So that's it. So
Wow.
I
So
decided.
I want to go back when that one day when you woke up and you thought, I have to swim in this beautiful bay. What was the trigger? What led you to that thought? Did you see a documentary? Did you read a book? Did you read an article or?
Well, I had been in Puerto Vallarta maybe twice in my life.
Okay.
A very beautiful place. It's a huge bay, and I thought it was going to be like a good or a challenging new swimming route.
Okay.
So I thought of it like a new dream, like a new swim, like
Okay.
something that I could do that maybe more Mexican swimmers can do, or swimmers from other parts of the world can come to Mexico and try it.
Yeah.
And I think that something that also triggered, to have this resolution or this decision was that I wanted to do something this year
Oh,
in order to have this in mind. I mean, life has changed, but we can keep going.
yeah.
And we need to keep going. Otherwise, we are waiting for the new. I mean, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
For the disease to go, to have the vaccine. I mean, I was like, okay, I need to have like all the cautions. How do you say that in English?
Yeah.
No, I need to be very careful.
Yeah.
I need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
I won't be at risk
Yeah.
in the water and outside of the water, but I need to keep going.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that was something that it's also what I wanted to show my children.
Yeah.
No, they are doing their college studies at home, and they are, mother, this is so weird, so different. Lalo, my son, told me the other day, mother, I never thought I was going to tell you this, but I miss going to school.
Yeah.
Imagine,
Yes.
I miss going to the university.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all the time here. So that's something that I also, something that gave me this idea that, okay, maybe things are different now, but we can still plan some of the things that we want to do. We have to be very careful. We have to maybe work harder, no, in order to achieve those things, but we can still do them.
Yeah.
So that's something that today I'm very proud of the whole thing, because everything turned out perfect. I
Yeah.
mean, perfect, perfect.
Be, be,
So
Before we get into the description of the swim itself, I really enjoyed listening to you talk about the first time you went there with the boat captain, and we're going to do some training swims. Can you explain that?
well, I was there and I asked the captain of the boat. I told him that I needed to rent the boat for 4 hours. And he said, okay, perfect. I mean, this is a captain of the boat we call in Mexico lanchero. Lanchero, I mean, he's not, I don't know the word in English, but I mean, he has a boat, it's a motor boat, but it's a lancha, a panga, no, a small motorboat. So he's ready and he tells me, okay, see you tomorrow. And I told him, can we meet at the marina at 6:30 in the morning? And he said, at that time? It's very early. And I said, no, yes, please. I would like to start my training at 6:37 in the morning. And he was like, no, no, no. It's still dark. So no way. I start working with the sun. So I said, okay. I was patient and I said, okay, this is my first time. I'm meeting this new captain. So, okay, we'll meet at 7:30 and I'm gonna start, I mean, I would like to train for 4 hours today and tomorrow for another 4 hours. So I was there with Gela Limonchi. Gela Limonchi has been like my coach, my friend, my crew. And we were riding, well, we hopped into the boat and the captain said, where do you want to go? And I said, can you take us to Punta de Mita Cape? Because that's the point where I planned that I was gonna start.
Yeah.
So we got there and it was like a 1 hour drive. I mean, a 1 hour ride, 45 minutes. So we got there and I jumped into the water, you know, with my swimming cap and my goggles, and I was ready. And he was like, okay, are you swimming for a while? Yes. And I jumped into the water and I started swimming. And he was like, no, 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 no. He told Hela, please ask her to come in. I mean, where is she going? And Hela was explaining him that I was going to train, that I needed to swim for 4 hours. But he thought that I was going to jump into the water, you know, and have a good time, 5 minutes, and then hop on the boat and then again into the water. And he said, is she going to swim for 4 hours? And Hela was, yes, she's going to swim for 4 hours today and tomorrow for another 4 hours, because she's planning on swimming from this Cape Punta de Mita to Cabo Chimo. And he was like, no, 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 she's crazy. So this is something new for this Vallarta community.
Yeah.
No? So
Yeah.
that day I swam for 4 hours, and when I got on the boat again, the captain was like, are you okay? Do you need something? He was like, oh, I mean, I enjoyed that swim very much. It's full of dolphins. You could see them from the water and from the boat.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful waters. So I really enjoyed it very much. And the captain was impressed. No, the lanchero was like, oh no, she knows how to swim.
So that captain became your captain for the big swim.
Um, him and another one.
Human. Okay.
Because
Okay.
he knew what we were going to do.
Okay. Okay.
So on that time, I swam 4 hours, and then next day another 4 hours. And I wanted to get to know like the currents, the tides. And next day, instead of starting from Punta de Mita, we
Oh,
started from Chimo. So I was going to do it, you know, the
yeah.
other day. And it was very hard. So that day I decided that the
Okay.
swim was going to be from Punta de Mita to Cabo Chimo.
Okay.
So after that weekend, I had a phone call with the, you know, the owner of the boat, and I told him that I needed to swim during the night because it was very hot. The water was very hot, and that's the time when he told me, "You're crazy enough to swim from one point to another one, which is almost 34, 35 kilometers, and you want to do it at night?" And I said, "Yes, I need to do it during the night, unless I can swim, you know, January or February." And that's the moment he said, no way, because the whales are just coming to Vallarta next week. So I think, let me tell you this, Stephen, I think the waters from the Vallarta, well, the Banderas Bay, are very ready for the whales to come, because they were, I mean, full of plankton. You know, I was swimming during the night and I didn't need to have a light because I didn't
Oh,
choke, and, you know, all this fluorescent
yeah.
plankton. It was beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful,
wow.
beautiful.
Wow.
So, well, let me tell you about the swim, okay? So what we decided is that I was going to start during the last hours of the afternoon
Okay.
with daylight. So I started swimming like about 7:30,
Okay.
and I swam 45 minutes with daylight, and then it became black.
Oh.
So the next 8 hours were totally dark. It, I think I had wind from behind, and I had current on my favor. And that's why I did 9 hours and 14 minutes, because I thought I was going to do like 12 hours.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful swim. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see the
Other
point
side.
where I was going to swim from the
Oh,
start, because it's more than 30 kilometers away.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't see it.
Yeah.
But well,
Could you see lights on the coastline at all? Any lights from
not
buildings?
very much. Not very much.
Oh,
Just at the starting
okay.
point. But after 2 or 3 hours, you are. So I'm going to share some videos with you.
Yes,
So I cannot share them right now.
it's okay.
I don't know, something happened to my computer, but I'm gonna share them to. I'm gonna share them to you so you can have them.
Okay.
But I mean, the size of the bay is so huge that from the point where I was swimming, it's not easy to see the light from the city of Puerto Vallarta. It's
Okay.
almost 30 kilometers away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a very special swim because it was a very dark night. I had some light for
Uh-huh.
a few hours, but then no more. No. I had the moon. Sorry, I had light from the moon, but then the moon went away and it started being cloudy,
Uh-huh.
and it felt creepy.
Really? Oh, okay.
Creepy, yes. Because I swam Molokai, I
Yeah.
swam in the English Channel during the night, Tsugaru, but this one was the darkest I swam. And
Okay.
then I was swimming, and I started, hearing this kind of noise
Not the
like
whales.
dolphins, okay? And I started swimming very fast because, I mean, even though they were dolphins, no, I was like a little bit nervous about them because I felt them very close, and I
Oh.
could see the light they were doing.
Oh.
They were swimming, beneath me. So I shouted to Hela. Hela was on the boat, and I said, Hela, I think there are some dolphins here around me. And she said, yes, we can see them.
Oh.
Don't worry, they are taking care of you. And then I was like, okay, they are taking care of me. But like after an hour, no more dolphins. And I was like, please God, let them come back again, because they were taking care of me. I mean, I was nervous because it was very, very dark. It was 9 hours and 14 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I could see the lights of Chimo once we got closer,
Okay.
like 2 or 3 hours before we got there. And I finished in Chimo, which is it's not a town. It's like a group of, I don't know, 5, 8, 10, houses
Oh,
that
really?
are built just on the beach. And the captain told me, be careful because maybe there are some rays on the beach.
Okay.
So try not to stand up until you are out.
Yeah.
But he never told me that there were so many dogs. So imagine all these dogs, taking care of the houses of the place and watching someone coming out of the water at 4, I don't know, 4:20 in the morning. And they were barking so loud. And I was like, no, wait, go away. Let me get out of here. No. And after that, I was standing on the beach and I was shouting, I'm here. And hell, okay, everything is okay. So
So did you finish? So at 4:20, it was still dark.
yes,
Okay.
no. That day was the last day of
Oh,
our
the daylight
summer, no,
summertime. Okay.
see. So I came back to Vallarta and it was still dark.
Okay.
So I think that maybe a good time to do this swim would be like April.
Okay.
So the water won't be so hot. The weather maybe won't be so hot,
Yeah.
but the day is longer than the night.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
This moment, the night is longer than the day.
Yeah.
Maybe at that time in April, you can even swim it during the day. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have a lot of sunscreen
Yeah.
and it's going to be hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you opened up a lot of eyes of a lot of people. Your children the people around you,
Yes,
the boat captains, the community.
the community.
Wonderful. And what do you call this swim? What is your official name for the swim?
It's going to be Corazón de Mar, Bahía de Banderas. And
Oh,
let me tell you why. When I was in Puerto Vallarta, the first time I was there, um, the concierge from the hotel, I stayed at the Marriott Hotel, she told me that there was a home for abandoned children in Puerto Vallarta, which is called Corazón de Niña.
okay.
Okay. So I said, I want to visit the home and I want to swim or to do the swim in order to benefit that home for children, abandoned children in Puerto Vallarta. So I visited the home and I told the children, I had a meeting with them, and I told them that I was going to swim and that I had a book that was called Corazón de Mar, and they said, do the swim with your heart. And I said, I'm going to swim with my heart. And the name of the swim will be Corazón de Mar,
Okay.
Bahía de Banderas.
Got it.
So it's like both things.
Got it. And did you go back after you finished the swim to meet these children, or did you send
Yes,
a letter?
yes, I did go back. Well, I had like a small reception in the
Oh,
hotel, and they came to the
oh,
hotel. The day before, I had visited them at the home of Corazón de Mar, which is run by a Canadian girl who stayed in Mexico, and
okay.
she started the home with, I think, 6 girls that were abandoned or were orphanage.
Yes.
Or,
Orphans.
and now she manages this home, and there are about 80 boys and girls
Oh,
who live.
wow.
It's
Wow.
very special. I'm going to share some pictures of the visit I did. The
Okay.
first time of the visit I did, the second time I was there, and of some of the girls, and they were, that something that touched my heart was the day before the swim, I visit the home, and Melissa, who is the director of the home, and some of the girls told me that they were going to be praying for me during the night because they were very impressed that I was going to swim during the night. They live there. They know how dark it can be, and in the middle of the ocean. And they were like, "We're going to be praying for you."
Oh,
So that really touched my heart. And I was swimming, and I knew that all these girls were praying for me. So
wow.
when the dolphins came around, I said, "Okay, now the dolphins are going to take care of me." But when they left, I was like, "No, please, please, God, let them come back again." No,
Yeah.
I mean, something that, those are the kind of things you think when you're
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
I try to be, very concentrated, but at moments I have my thoughts.
Yeah. Oh man.
Very
Congratulations.
special.
This is a great experience. So Ocean 7, you finished that. You're one of the few people in the world who did that. You went back home and you said, Mexico is a special place. You have the Pacific Ocean, you have the Caribbean Sea. I mean, you could probably do a swim, 1 or 2 a year, the rest of your life, and there will still all be pioneer swims.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do, Stephen. I think that's something that Mexico deserves, to have these kind of beautiful swims and
Yeah.
to let them, to let them fly around the world. So many other swimmers maybe will get inspired to come to Mexico and to try
Yeah.
this.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well,
Mhm.
thank you very much for sharing your story. It's
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. And thank you for letting me share the story and for, um, was sharing this new swims.
yes.
We will see what happens. Maybe I'm going to do another one, a shorter one, so many more people would like to do it,
Okay.
which will be from Cabo Punta de Mita, the same place where I started,
Uh-huh.
to Marietas Islands. So
Oh,
it's
so
about
you're gonna
12.
go out from shore. So
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start from Cabo Punta de Mita, and I'm gonna try to start um, from shore, from a private, I don't know, a private pier they have there.
uh-huh.
and it's going to be longer. It's not on the tip of the cape.
Yeah.
This time I started from the tip of the cape. This swim will start a few kilometers behind that, but I'm going to try to do from that pier, from that place, to Islas Marietas. I don't know if you know the Islas Marietas, but the Islas Marietas are about 8-10 kilometers from the coast,
Okay.
and it's a beautiful place.
So
And
you will swim out into the ocean. Oh, wow. Wow, that's a special, that will be very, when do you plan to do this?
and I need to call the captain of the boat and tell him, be ready, because I'm coming back to Vallarta because I wanted to do this new swim. The only thing with the Marietas is that they are like a national reserve park, because it's like a very special place. So that's what I'm working on right now. I need to have all the authorizations to get there swimming.
Okay.
So what we're planning to do is like to have like 20 dates for 20 swimmers to come and do the swim. But
okay.
first we need to have the authorization from all the, authorities to be able to do the swim. And once I have everything ready, I will let you know, because I think it's going to be such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
You go into the island, you get into the island from a cave. So you swim like down the cave, and then you get to a beach of this beautiful island. I'm going to show you a picture, and I think that you'll love it, and you will want to come and do it with me.
Wow. That's
Okay.
wonderful.
But first, we need to organize everything. So
Yes.
let me have everything ready, and I will let you know. So maybe we can, share it with all the swimming community around the world.
Yes. And everybody's ready to swim. Most certainly ready to
Yeah,
swim.
I know. We were all, I mean, I was ready since day one this whole pandemic started. But I think that what we need to have in mind is that we can still keep swimming, doing things maybe with very carefully, and trying to do new swims that will inspire other people to do them again, to do them too, right?
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steven.